So, hello everyone. My name is Dhananjay Mishra, and today again we'll be discussing another problem of the day. So, this problem of the day is of Friday, and let us now look at the name of this problem of the day, right? So the name of this problem is product array puzzle, and although it's being an easy problem, but you can see its accuracy is less than 50%, right? Let us now look why so, right? So let us read the problem statement first. So we are given an array nums, right? The name of this array is nums, and it's of size n. We have to construct a product array P of same size as n, right? That is of same size as size of this nums array given to us, such that P of I, that means the particular element, that is element at ith index of that product array P, is equal to the product of all the elements of nums except nums of I, right? So yeah, so what does the question says that suppose this is the given array, right? And we have to return this final output array. Cool. Now, how is this output coming? So this is our product array P, and this is our nums array, right? Nums. Now, each element of this product array is denoting the product of all the numbers to its left and all the numbers to its right, except that particular index number, right? So here, as you can see, right, if I move to index number 2, if I'm talking about zero based indexing, right, that is 0, 1 and 2, right? This is 2 at 5 is at 2 index, right? So for 5 we can see the answer, or for second index we can see the answer is first 0, 1, 2, right? So this is the answer for this second index. So the answer is 10 into 3, that is 30, 6 into 2, that is 12. So 30 into 12 gives us 360, correct? So that's how the answer is coming. And similar fashion we have to compute the product of the left hand side and the right hand side of that particular index element, excluding that particular element, right? So that's how the answer will be coming up. So that's all about this question, right? And I'll be telling the crux in this question, why this question is having accuracy less than 50%, right? Because at the first look, or at the first glance, this question seems quite easy to us. Let us now understand what is the main problem statement, and then we can move on to the various approaches coming into our mind, right? So the array was 10 3 5 6 2, right? So the nums array given to us was 10 3 6 5 and 2, right? So and the answer, or the product array which came to us as the final answer was, let us draw by self, right? So for this element, right, for this element, that is this element 10, right, there is no element at left, right? So the only element we are left with in the right side, so the answer will be 3 into 6 gives us 18, right? 18 into 5 gives us 90, 90 into 2 gives us 180, right? So the answer will be 180 for 0th index, right? Now for 3, answer will be 10 into 6, 60, 60 into 5 gives us 300, 300 into 2 gives us 600, right? In the similar fashion, if I want to fill up this array, so answer will come up 360, 300, 3, that is 360, 300, and for the last one, again for 2 there is no element on the right hand side, right? So we will consider all the left hand side elements, right? So the answer will be 10 into 3 30, 30 into 6 gives us 180, and 18 5 is 90 plus 10, right? So it will be 900. So that's how product array is coming up to us, right? I hope this output is clear to you. Now one easy approach that might coming into our mind is that what to do. Take the multiplication of all this complete array, right? And at whichever index we are going, we will divide the product by that element, right? So what I'm trying to say is that let us now take the complete product, right? Or if I change my marker here, so what I'm saying that first approach is you know uh, use division operation, right? Use division operator. So what is the idea behind it? Okay, the idea is we just first of all take the product of this complete array, right? So the product comes out to us is 10 into 3 gives us 30, right? 10 into 3 into 6 into 5 into 2. So what it will give me, 10 3 is a 30, 180, 900 and 1800, right? Now what will I do in the product array? In the product array, for each index, right, Suppose at 1800 I am at index 0, right? First of all, I will divide this 1800 by 10. Why? Because it was asked to us that find the product of this array at that particular index, excluding that particular element at that particular index, right? So similarly, to exclude that particular element, we will divide it, right? So the factor of 10 will be excluded by division from the final product. I hope you are getting it, right? Now similarly for index number 2 or index number 1, this 3, I will divide 1800 by 3, so it will give me 600. Similarly 360, 300 and 900. This is a simple approach, and its time complexity of is O of n, and space complexity is also O of n, right? Because O of n time complexity, because sorry, because we are iterating the nums array only once, and the space complexity is big O of n also, because we are utilizing or creating another product array to store our final answer. But what if I tell you the main constraint in this question is, the main constraint is we cannot use, we can't use division operation, right? We are prohibited to use this one, right? We can't use this one. So now this question become interesting, and that's why, because of this factor that we can't use division operation, the accuracy or the acceptance rate of this this question comes out to be less than 50%, right? So right, so you can hear it, you can see it here. The note is saying that try to solve this problem without using the division operation. It, because with the help of division operation you can simply do it. So but the main task is to do without using that division operation. So let us now look how we'll solve it, right? Okay. So first approach that is coming to our mind is, okay, so the first approach that is coming to our mind is, if this was my given array, right? 10, 3, what was the remaining array? 10, 3, 6, 5, 2, right? 10, 3, 6, 5 and 2. So what we can do for that index, right? Suppose if I am pointing at this index at any particular iteration, while I am iterating this array, this complete array, I am at this second or I am at this first index, right? So what I can do, for each index I will be calculating the product of the remaining left side of the array and the remaining right side of the array, right? And I will product, and I will store the answer for that. So how it will look like? Suppose for 10, right? For 10 only, I will be I will be using a nested loop, and I will be iterate the finding the product of this remaining half, right? So it will fetch me what? So it will fetch me this, uh, you know 3 into 6, so it will fetch me 180, right? Similarly, when I'm at this one, right, at this third index, at this index or third element, what I will do, I will iterate to the left part and to the right part, and I will store the product of them, right? So that's what I have to do, right? So it will fetch me the answer of 10. What was the answer for that? I guess 360 or 600, right? It was 600. So in similar fashion we can find the answer for all the above, right? So it was 360, I guess, and 300 and 900, right? 300 and 900. So I hope the idea is clear to you, right? But in the worst case, can you feel what will the time complexity of this one? So the time complexity will reach out to be big O of n square, where n is the size of this nums array. Why? Because you can see that in the worst case, if I am pointing here, right? So in the in the first case, what I will do in the first loop, I will be iterating till all these elements. But consider the case in which I am at this index, right? So I have to to find the product of all the elements in its left side, to find the product of the elements on this left side for the answer for this two. So I will be iterating again n minus 1 elements, right? So the time complexity will become big O of n for the first loop, that is for traversing all the elements, right, for finding the answer, and big O of n minus 1 for finding the product excluding that element, right, in the worst case. I'm talking about this as worst case. So the time complexity around becomes equal to big O of n square, right? But we can't, we can do something better, right? We can still do something better. So I hope the main idea or the fundamental idea is clear to you, right? We will have to just normally iterate to the left hand side and right hand side and find the product of them. but we have to do it something in a smart manner, right? So what we can do is, you know, I hope you have heard of the topics that is prefix and suffix array, right? So we will create two arrays, right? We will create two arrays, that is one will be the prefix array, right, and another one will be the suffix array, right? So in the prefix array, what I'll be storing, let me take the final array or the initial array given to us, right? The array given to us was 10, 3, 6, 5 and 2, right? This was the array initially given to us, right? Yeah, correct. So what I will do, the prefix array will store the product of all the numbers to the left hand side of this. Suppose if I am pointing at 6, right? So it will store the product of all the numbers to its left, excluding this number, right? This will what my prefix arrays of particular index will store. So if I talk about, the examples, right? So I will create the prefix array of same size, that is of size n, right? So for this 10, in the left hand side there is no element, right? So again, one more thing is that if the array has only one element, the return list should be contain one value, that is 1, right? Why so? Okay, so take the base case or the edge case, right? Now for the edge case, suppose if I talk about the edge case, okay, if I talk about the edge case here. Now in the edge case, suppose I have only single element, right? That is 10. Now can you feel for this 10, there is no element on the left and no element on the right. But we have to exclude this element, so the final answer will be 1, right? So if I have a single element, right, so we have to return the final answer as 1, right? Similar logic, okay. Similar logic we will be using here only, right? So the idea is that, for this 10, there is no element on the left hand side. So the product of the element for the left hand side is 1, correct? So it will be storing 1. Similarly for 3, if I mark this indexes, I'll be talking in the terms of indexes now. So for similarly for the first index, right, we will be storing what I said. We will be storing the product in the left hand side of the left hand side elements, right? So it will give us 10. Similarly for 6, it will give me 30. For 5, it will give me 10 into 3 into 6, that is 30 into 6, that is 180. Similarly for 2, 180 into 5, so it will give me 900. I hope you are understanding how the prefix array is computed, right? So this one is for this one is for this one is for this, and so on, right? So I will define you again what our prefix array is doing. Prefix array for a particular index, right? For this, suppose if I'm talking about this particular index, it is index number 2. So it is storing the product of all the elements on the left hand side, excluding that particular element or that particular element at that index. If I'm talking about second index, so we are storing the product of 0th index, first index only, excluding the element at second index, right? That's why we are getting 30, that is 10 into 3 only, right? So in the similar fashion, I hope you are understanding what I'll do with the suffix array. Similarly for the suffix array, I will be storing the product from the right hand side, right? From the right hand side, from in this manner. In the prefix we started from the left hand side, in the suffix we will be starting from the left hand side, or sorry, in the prefix I started from the left hand side, and in the suffix I will be starting from the right hand side. Let us now how it will look like, right? So in the prefix we start on the first index because we wanted to calculate from the left one, right? And we have to use that the previously computed values, right? So that's why we started from this one. So it is the prefix and the suffix array topic is, you can use it in various questions also, right? So it is a sort of easy DP one, because by DP, because we are using the product of a particular index for finding the product of any other index. You can see for index number third, right? I am using the prefix stored for index number 1, and then I multiply it with 2, the element at second index, to get the answer for third one. That's what I'm doing, right? So yeah, so after that what I'll do for the suffix also, right, in the similar fashion, for 2 it will be 1 here only, right? And after that, I hope this one is clear to you, right? Because it is a bit confusing, because what I said that in the prefix if I want to calculate for this 5, right? So what I'll do, I have 30 for this one, right? So I will multiply 6 with it, right? 6 with it, because up till this one, right, for this second index I am getting the product of these two elements, right? So for 6 I am storing the product of these two elements, that is products till n or ith minus 1. Similarly in this, if I have to find for this one, what I'll do, multiply this one with this answer, right? Because this one is storing the product till this one, 30 is the product, so uh, 30 is the product till this one, right? And to find this one, I have to multiply it with 6, right? So if I multiply it with 6, my range will become this, right? I hope now it's clear to you. It's more clear to you, right? So in a similar fashion we will doing creating the suffix array. So for 2, that is 1, right? And now for 5, I will have 2. For 6 I'll have 10. For 3 I'll have 60. For 10 I'll have 16, that is 180, right? It is 1 2 3 4 5, right? 1 2 3 4 5. So if I do the mapping, so it will be 0 1 2 3 and 4. I hope this is clear to you now, right? So now this is the basic idea. Now after creating this prefix and suffix array, I hope you're getting a bit of idea that what I'll do, I will iterate all these elements, right? Now I have the my final product array, right? I have my product array. Now with this product array I have it of size n, right? The size is of n. Now suppose I'm at this index, right? I am at this index. So let us name it, that is 0 1 2, right? 1 2 3 and 4. As it is 0 based indexing, so last element will be n minus 1, that is 4, right? Now suppose if I am at this index 2, right? So what will be the answer, the final answer for this index? So as you can see, for second index, what will be the answer for second index, right? As we discussed, the answer for second index will be product of all these elements in the left hand side, that is this one and this one, right? Now with the help of this prefix and suffix, right, we had calculated earlier, for this index the product, for this index the answer in the prefix will be the product of this one, only 10 and 3, right? Similarly for suffix, in the suffix, for index number 2, the answer will be stored for the last two elements, right? That is the element after them in the suffix and elements before that index in the prefix, right? So that becomes pretty much easy, right? Now I can find out the uh, product for each particular index excluding that particular element, right? So how will I do, you know so it will look like, so for 2, for instance, for 2 I want to find, right? So for 2 the answer will be what, from the prefix I will be getting 30, right? 30 for the product of 10 and 3, and in the suffix part for index number 2 I will be getting product as 10, right? So what I'll do, I'll multiply 30 into 10 and it will give me 300, correct? Now similarly, in the similar fashion, right, if I want to find out for 0 or for the 0th index, right, so it is 10 here only, but as I said that if the element is single or there is no element on its left hand side, so for that means it is having product 1 or it is getting product equal to 1 from its left hand side, right? So it is 1, and from the suffix, so from the prefix I will be getting 1 and from the suffix I will be getting 180. So I will multiply 1 into 180, so it will give me 180. Similarly, we can draw it for first index, right? So I want you to find it by yourself, right, and check whether you are getting the logic correct or not. So for 3, I will get 10 into 60, it will give me 600. For 3 third index, I will be getting 180 into 2, that will give me 360. For 4 I will be getting 900. So that was our final answer, right? Let us now map it up with the answer we are expected. So it was, you can see the answer is same, right? That is 180, 600, 300. Okay, so okay, so for second index, Okay, I guess the answer was right. Okay, so we are getting 300 right here. Okay, cool. I I think that I have created this array a wrong one, right? Let us now have a look at it again. The suffix one, I'll be, for this one, I'll have 10 3. The elements are 10 3 6 5 2. Right? 10 3. Okay. As you can see that I have just, swapped these elements, right? So that's why the product is also swapped. Okay. So actually the elements were actually 10 3 5 6 and 2, but what I did, I just by mistake I swapped these two elements, right? So that's why the product is also getting swapped, right? So no issues. I hope the logic is clear to you up till now, right? So the logic is that, after finding it, so if I, again draw it for you more clearly. So what I am doing actually, product array, if I, write a formula kind of thing, so it will be prefix of I into suffix of I, right? So that's what we are doing. So this is the formula we will basically use, right, after creating the prefix and suffix array. Let us now talk about the time complexity of this approach. I hope this idea is clear to you. If you still have a doubt, you can write down your comments or doubts in the live chat, right? I will surely answer them. Now let us now discuss about the time complexity of this approach, right? So the time complexity is, as you can see, right, the steps, if I write down, the first step is creating suffix and prefix array, right? So it will take what, big O of n time only, right? The second step, we are iterating it and finding the product array, right? So it will be again take O of n time. So the final time complexity is O of n plus n, right? So it is near about big O of n, because we talk always in terms of asymptotic, right? Asymptotic time complexity. Now, yeah, talking about the space complexity. So it was the time complexity, right? Now if I talk about the space complexity, talk about the space complexity. So similarly, the space complexity, you know, remains big O of n, because we are actually, if I talk about in depth, right? So we are using three extra space, that is one for, that is O of n for prefix, and O of n for suffix, right? And O of n for answer array, right? But if I talk about asymptotic again, so it is only O of n plus n, right? So it is nearly equal to O of n. There is no issue about that, right? So guys, that's all about this logic. If you still have any doubt, you can I will say that again, you can comment it down, or ask your doubt in the live chat. I'll surely answer them, right? Now let us now move to the coding part once this logic is clear to you, right? Now the best thing about is that I just only write about in the coding part what we discuss, right? Nothing else different I'll write about it, right? So yeah, let us see how it will go on, right? Mm, so before that, let me explain you the the output I have to return and the input parameters I have given in this product accept self function, right? So we have to return a vector, right? That is this vector storing the final answer, right? This vector of size n, that is size of the equal to the size of the initial array, right? And the data type is long int. Why long int? Because you can see that the elements lying in the range 200, right? And if I'm having 1000 elements, right, and each of them is having value 200, so it can exceed the value, and it will exceed the value, 10 raised to power 9, right? So that is the range of the integer, right? So it will give us the overflow error, integer overflow error. So to avoid that, we will use long int, right? Similarly, we have also vector long int here, right? But many of you have a doubt that why elements are having long int, but because as the elements are having size 200, right? So one thing here I would like to tell you is that what happens is that when you multiply two things, right? So if both of them are integers, right, the product of them before getting stored into the final answer. Suppose you took it the long, right, to store the product of two integers, right, and the product of those two integers become greater than integer value. So before getting stored into that long variable answer, it will be computed by the compiler, right? So before storing that, it will give you the integer overflow error, right? So that's why we will have long int, right? So because when we multiply those values, even if they are less than the 10 raised to power 9, the product of them is not getting overflowed, and hence we can store them, right? So this was a good hint about today's POD, right? Okay, I hope that most of the people have not been knowing about this, right? So because earlier I used to, in my college days, when I used to do CP a lot, in the beginning I was facing such type of issues, right? So I learned about this, why this happened. I hope it will also help you in the near future, right? So now talking now to move to the coding part, right? As I said, I will create two arrays, right? That is prefix. Okay, so it will be long int again. So long int prefix, right? So long int prefix of size n, right? And similarly I will create long int suffix, that is n. Now as I said that I have to initialize the first the zeroth prefix element in case of prefix array, that is equal to 1, right? And similarly the last element equal to 1. Why? Because we discussed that in the left hand side the prefix is showing the product of the element in the left hand side, and for zeroth index there is no element on the left hand side, so in that case I have to store 1 here, right? And similarly for suffix, right? Why this logic comes up? Because it is told to us that if there is only single element, for that we have to store the answer as 1, right? Now after getting this thing clear, we will initialize our prefix of 0 equal to 1, and similarly suffix of last index, that is n minus 1, equal to 1. Now I will be populating or creating my prefix array. So I will be starting from 1, because 0th one, for the value for 0th it is already previously stored, right? So I will be going, right? And now what I will do, prefix of I. Okay, prefix of I will which will what will fetch me what, that is array of I minus 1 into the previously stored answer for one last one. Let us now discuss what we are doing in this line of code, right? So as we discussed that suppose if I want to find out for this one, right, for this second index, what I did, I had previously computed value. Suppose if I want to find out for prefix of 2, right, prefix of 2. So for prefix of 2, how did I calculate it? I had the previously stored answer for prefix of 1, that is prefix of I minus 1, right, up till this one, and I multiplied the value 3, that is I minus 1, with the previously calculated answer, right? That's what I'm doing, because we have to exclude this one, so we can't multiply this. We have to we have to multiply the previously created prefix, right, prefix element, that is 10 in this case, right, and multiply with 3. So what basic idea is that, just to remind you again, that for each index in the prefix I am creating or getting the answer of the only the left elements, right, on the left hand side element, excluding that this one, because it was asked in the question itself. So that's how I am creating it, right? I hope it is now clear to you why I am taking for prefix of I, that is array of I minus 1 and prefix of I minus 1, right? Similar fashion I'll do for suffix, right? So I'll be starting from n minus 2. Why n minus 2? Because as it is 0 based indexing, so last element will be n minus 1, but for the last element we have pre-computed the value as 1, right? So I have to start with n minus 2, and I will iterate till till the 0th index, right? And I minus minus here. Now similarly I will write for suffix also, suffix of I is equal to array of I plus 1 into suffix of I plus 1. Why I plus 1? Because if I am here, right, so the product will be of this one and the element that this third index, that is 5, right, and the suffix of this one, right, the answer stored at this, that is 2 into 5, right. So for this one, for this suffix of 2, I will have array of 3 into suffix of 3, right. So that's why 2 plus 1 3 and 2 plus 1 3, right, that's why I plus 1. Now once we have created this all suffix and prefix array, I will have to create, my final answer array, and it will be of size n. So if I'm taking the vector, because I have to return a vector, so in vector you initialize in vector you initialize the size by normal opening and closing brackets, right, but in arrays you create it by square brackets, right. I hope you are aware of that. Now I will simply iterate the elements and use this formula that is for product of array of I, that is for answer of I, prefix of I into suffix of I, right. So yeah, so I will have answer of I equal to prefix of I into suffix of I, right. So that's all it, guys. After that I have to return my final answer, right? So that's it, guys. Let us now have a recheck at our code what we have done, because this step is very important after write down the code, because it is a good habit before getting submit like you are sure that your answer is correct, right. So for getting that surety, you have to create or inculcate a habit of rechecking your code once again. Why I'm telling you this, because in the FANG companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Google and all, they tell you to write down the code in one go without any errors, because that affects a lot, right, and that too in Google Docs, right. So there are no chances of making errors. So initially we created a long int prefix n, right, suffix n, initialize prefix 0 and suffix n minus 1. We calculated prefix correctly, suffix also correctly, stored this answer. Let us now try to submit it. Okay, so I missed it here. That was the errors I'm talking about, right. This can happen. So you know so as you can see, guys, it is getting accepted, right. The time, I will again repeat it, the time complexity is big O of n and space complexity is also big O of n, right. Now guys, if you have any doubts, you can comment it down in the live chat, right. I'll surely answer it to them. And up till then, up till next POD or problem of the day, stay tuned to GFG practice. Happy coding, stay happy, stay safe, bye bye.